Now let us see the advantages of foreign direct investment. If the foreign direct investment increases, it leads to they will invest in the productive manner. It will give more employment. It also give increase in the income. So the increase in the investment leads to increase in the income, and also it leads in the employment because they will invest in the new projects. New industries will arise. So it increase the employment opportunity. Transfer of technology. If any foreign countries invested in India, they wanted to produce more goods in a short time. So they will implement the technology which they are using in their country. They will bring the technology to the countries where they are doing the investment. இப்போ ஃபாரின்ல ஒரு country they are doing with food processing இதெல்லாம் பார்க்குறீங்க இல்லையாடா, they are doing everything with the help of missionaries. So if they wanted to invest in India, they bring all the missionaries here. So the technology will be transferred. So it helps for the transfer of technology. And it gives the revenue to the government. Foreign direct investment give revenue to the government. How it gives? Because the government will impose taxes. The investors, those who are doing the business, they have to pay taxes to the government. And also they have to pay the royalties, isn't it? If they are investing in any goodwill companies or any branded names, they have to pay the royalty to the government. So from these items, the government will get revenue. And through the foreign direct investment, if the government get any revenue, it is used again for the expansion of the industries. So the benefits which are derived from the direct investment will be used again. It will be given back for the expansion of industries. Management revolution, isn't it? It's a remarkable one in foreign direct investment. In those days, just remember that in those days, we don't have any HRs in companies. Have you heard this words nowadays in all the IT companies and other companies? They have HR. They are only doing the interviews and other things. There is a particular department for human resource. They are interviewing the people. They are doing all the psychological problems handling. They are handling all the psychological problem arise in the companies and other things. So in those days, we don't have such things. After the foreigners, we started following the Western style. So in those countries, those who are having HR, this type of management should be done. 8 hours work. The IT industries nowadays, they are following, because so many foreign countries, they are investing in the IT field. So morning 8 o'clock punch pannanga, evening 6 o'clock they have to go out. The food items will be free. Their allowances, transport allowances will be given free. All the things now we started implementing. So the management revolution has been done through foreign direct investment. So it's a remarkable one. And export. The investment induce the exports in the country. It reduce the imports. So the BOB will be, the disequilibrium of BOB will be equal, because the investment increase the industries. With the help of investment, we will do production. We will export things so that we can import only less item. Then our balance of payment will be equal. It avoid the competition and domestic monopoly. Have you heard the word monopoly? Last year I think you have studied only one seller. That is monopoly. So if just a thing that there is only one company, they are producing cars in India. No companies are there to produce cars. Just a thing, imagine. What would happen? They will fix the rate because they are the price taker, isn't it? The producer or the price takers in monopoly. So they will fix the price as they like. It affects the trade. If foreigners enter into the country, they too started a business, the same car manufacturing. They are also manufactured cars. They are doing investment. So there will be a competition. And domestically, here a man, one who is producing the car still now, he will get the competition. So the domestic monopoly will be reduced. புரியுதாடா? வெளிநாடுகள்லேருந்து முதலீடு வரும்போது உள்நாட்டில் ஒரே ஆளாக இருந்து தொழில் பண்ணவங்களுக்கு ஆப்போசிட்டாக இவங்க நிறைய கம்பெனிஸ் ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்கன்னா there will be no monopoly. So it avoid the competition and also the break the domestic monopoly. So if the competition increases, the price goes down, isn't it? Automatically, if there is supply increases, the price will go down. It will benefit for the domestic. நமக்கு benefited தான். Add more value. What do you mean by this? So, if FDI adds more value to output in the resident country, then the returns on capital from foreign investment and the social returns are greater than the private returns on foreign investment. So foreign we are do from the rate interest, we are then the return on capital from foreign investment. Foreign investment மூலமா நமக்கு கிடைக்கக்கூடிய வருமானம் we will use in for society returns or social returns and private returns. நம்ம மத்தனுடைய இங்கே சோஷியலுக்கு பயன்படுத்துறதும் அதன் மூலமாக கிடைக்கக்கூடிய ரிட்டர்ன்ஸ் அண்ட் ஆல்சோ த ப்ரைவேட் ரிட்டர்ன்ஸ் ப்ரைவேட்டில் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ண மூலிமா கிடைக்கக்கூடிய ரிட்டர்ன்ஸும் இட் வில் பி மோர். ஸோ எக்கனாமிக் டெவலப்மெண்ட் இட் ஹெல்ப்ஸ் ஃபார் த எக்கனாமிக் டெவலப்மெண்ட். ஹவு? பை பிரிங்கிங் பேக் கேபிட்டல் அண்ட் ஃபாரின் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் இட் ஹெல்ப்ஸ் இன் ஃபில்லிங் சேவிங் கேப் அண்ட் த ஃபாரின் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் கேப் in order to achieve the goal of national economic development. If there is a gap in the foreign exchange, இப்போ நம்மளுடைய ரேட்டுடைய வேல்யூ குறைஞ்சிருக்கு, ஃபாரின் கரன்சியோடைய ரேட்டு நிறைய இருக்குது அப்படின்னா தே வில் ரெடி டு இன்வெஸ்ட் இன் ஆர் கண்ட்ரி. நம்மளுடைய ரேட்டு கூட ஃபாரின் ரேட்டு கொஞ்சம் கம்மியாக இருக்குன்னா தே ஆர் ரெடி டு இன்வெஸ்ட் இன் ஆர் கண்ட்ரி. ஸோ நம்மக்கிட்ட ஃபாரின் கரன்சி இல்லாமல் இருந்தது. இஃப் தே ஸ்டார்டட் இன்வெஸ்ட் அவர் கேப் வில் பி solved. And also the capital saving gap. நம்மளுக்கு வெளிநாட்டில இருந்து உள்ள பணம் வந்துச்சுன்னா we started storing the foreign exchange. Foreign money currencies நம்ம என்ன செய்ய ஆரம்பிக்கலாம்? ஸ்டோர் பண்ண ஆரம்பிக்கலாம். If we keep the foreign currency as a savings, it will be helpful for the BOB, disequilibrium வரும்போது நம்மளால பே பண்ண முடியும். So the foreign investments வரும்போது if we collect and if we keep as a savings, it will be useful. And it will increase the domestic enterprise to invest in the auxiliary industries. அப்படின்னா என்ன பண்ணுறேன்? If there is, for example, for foreign countries investing in textile industry ன்னு வச்சுக்கோயேன், the foreign direct investment, they have done a very huge investment in the textile industries. So அதனுடைய auxiliary industries என்னது? ஜின்னிங் மில், காட்டன் மில்ஸ் சொல்கிறோம்ல, yarn. So auxiliary trade also improve. So அவங்க ஒரு தொழிலில் if they invested in a big industries, the industries which are help to complete the product, intermediate goods சொல்லுவோம்ல, so those intermediate goods trade also be improved. So the main trade, not only the main trade, the main production increases, but also it helps the intermediate goods and the raw materials to improve more. And then developing countries also encourages its entrepreneurs to invest in other LDCs. So if the developing country, if we like India, if we are getting foreign direct investment more, we will ask our entrepreneurs to invest in less developed countries like Nepal and Uganda, Ethiopia. So we can also invest in other countries, and while they are still borrowing from abroad. So larger FDI to India comes from a smaller country, Mauritius. So most of investment comes from Mauritius to India. So these are the advantages of foreign direct investment. If we have advantages, we will have some disadvantages also. I already told you, isn't it, girls? So whatever we have benefited, there should be some disbenefit there. What are all the disadvantages? What are the disadvantages of foreign direct investment? Private capital flow only to the high profit area rather than priority sectors. That is natural, isn't it? The investors, the foreign investors, they will do investment only in the area where they are getting more profit, isn't it? Profit should be more, only then they will do investment. If they are doing investment, they have to get more profit, that is natural. So at the same time, it also affects. The investment in the profit sector affects the priority sector. For example, we are a populated country, huge populous country, India. The priority should be given to food items, isn't it? If the people if the foreigners, they are investing only the machineries, which is not given priority to India. If they are investing more there, it is not useful to us. It doesn't bring any useful to the ordinary people. So, it is a disadvantage, isn't it? Though we are getting the foreign investment, they are investing only the profit, higher profit area rather than the priority areas. And then, the technologies bought by the foreign investors may not be appropriate to the consumption needs, size of the domestic market, resources availability, stage of development of the economy. Transfer of technologies advantages we have studied, isn't it? At the same time, sometimes the technology may not be suit us. We do not have such resources, means there is no use of technology. If they are not having a skilled labor to operate the machine, there is no use of importing the machines. So, though we are getting the technology, it not appropriate to the consumption needs, size of the domestic market and other things. And then, unfavorable effect on the balance of payment, because when the drain of foreign exchange by the way of royalty, dividend extra more than the investment made by the foreign concerns. How it brings the unfavorable effect? What I told, sometimes they are doing investment for royalty and other things. If they are paying more than their investment, there is no use of this investment, isn't it? If they are doing anything, they have to get something. If it is not, it is waste. So, in some cases, if the royalty or dividend is more than the investment, there is no use of foreign investment. Sometimes, it will interfere in the national politics. I already told you, global politics. The foreign investors will do the global politics because they are investing only in some countries which are favored to them. So it will bring their national politics. Sometimes they will do some unethical or unfair products. What do you mean by that? Practices. சில சமயம் ஃபாரின் டைரக்ட் இன்வெஸ்டர்ஸ் என்ன செய்யலாம், நியாயமில்லாத முறையில் நடந்துக்கலாம், அன்ஃபேராக இருக்கலாம். தட் இஸ் ஷோயிங் த பார்ஷியாலிட்டி. அண்ட் தென் ஹார்ம்ஃபுல் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் சம்டைம்ஸ், isn't it? அதெல்லாம் கூட இருக்குது. தே கேன் த்ரூ த ஃபாரின் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ் நிறைய வந்து போகிறதுனால என்கேஜ் இன் அன்ஃபேர் அண்ட் அன்எத்திக்கல் ட்ரேடு ப்ராக்டிசஸ். தவறான முறையில் தொழில் பண்ணுறது, நியாயமற்ற முறையில் பண்ணுறது கூட நடக்கலாம். And some cases it distraction or weakening the small and medium enterprises, isn't it? பெரிய பெரிய இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் அவங்க ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது சில ஸ்மால் அண்ட் மீடியம் சைஸ் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் will be affected, isn't it? If they are producing the same product and they are selling in the low rate அப்படின்னா it will be affected the small and medium industries or enterprises. The same product they are doing with heavy industries, heavy investment. If the foreigners, they invested more and they have started a very big industries, they are selling at a low cost, means the small and medium industries will be affected. And sometimes it is result in dangerous situation, that is minimizing or eliminating competition and the creation of monopolies or oligopoly structure. Sometimes it destroys the monopolies, sometimes it creates the monopolies. Monopoly or oligopoly. Sometimes the foreign investments creates a danger situation, that is minimizing or eliminating the competition. So எதுக்குமே ஒரு காம்படிஷன் இருந்தால் தான், ஒரு ஆப்போசிட் ஃபோர்ஸ் இருந்தால் தான் it comes up, isn't it? If there is no competition, they will not come up. Sometimes the foreign investments, it eliminate the competition and it will be the monopoly. இருக்கிற எல்லாரும் என்ன செஞ்சலாம், இங்கே இருக்கிற சின்ன சின்ன கம்பெனிஸ் எல்லாத்தையும் they will wind it up, they will washed out and they will become the monopoly. Or the same foreign, one or two people, if they have invested, they will become oligopoly. They both will dominate the country. So sometimes the foreign direct investment creates monopoly or oligopoly. They will become one and only seller of the particular product, or else their country, someone or one or two people, if they invested in the same industries, mean there will be only few seller, so the price will be more. It affects the domestic trade. You understand, girls? And then the last we are going to study how foreign direct investment is in India. In the early 1991, witnessed the reforms in the economic policy. This helps to open the Indian markets to FDI. So in the year 1991 only, in India, it opens the market for FDI. So, it has been advantages in terms of free flow of capital, improved technology, management expertise and access to international markets. What are the benefits we get from FDI? Benefits FDI in India. Till now we studied in the global level. Now we are going to see only in India. We got so many foreign direct investors. We also got the foreign direct investments. So how India is benefited with the help of foreign direct investment? The major benefit banking and non-banking sector. They got benefited. And the second one is insurance. So the foreign investments they have done in these sectors. Telecommunication. And then the area they have included hospitality and tourism. And then pharmaceuticals, medicine area, isn't it? So many foreign countries, pharmaceuticals. And the last, software information technology, IT industries. In these areas, we are benefited. Banking, non-banking sectors, insurance, telecommunication, hospitality and tourism, pharmaceuticals and information and technology industries. So many foreign investors, they have invested in these areas and we were developed in these areas. And some of the areas, India is not allowed the foreigners to invest. These areas, India allowed the foreigners to invest in telecommunication and other things. But some areas, it is not permitted. Some areas, India is not permitted to invest in these areas. What are the areas? Arms and ammunition. Arms and ammunition. Atomic energy, nuclear power. Railways. There is no, till நம்ம இல்ல மெட்ரோ ரயில் வந்தா கூட ஃபாரின்ல உள்ளது மாதிரி ஃபாஸ்ட் மூவிங் ட்ரெயின்லாம் இன்னும் வரல. Coal and lignite. At last, mining of minerals or metals like iron, gypsum and other things. But the foreign direct investment has been increased from 97 million in 1991 to 5,535. So in the year 1990 and 1991, the FDI in India was only $97 million. But in the year 2004 and 5, it has been increased 5,543. See how much, 5,535 million dollars has been increased. And in 2011 and 12, was a tremendous increase in the foreign direct investment, that is $32,995 million. See what an increase, tremendous increase in the FDI. So world nations, United Nations Communication and Trade and Development Department report that 2018 reveals that FDI to India declined from 40 billion in 2017 from 44 billion in 2016. So 2016 la 44 billion இருந்தது. மில்லியன் அதுக்கு அடுத்து பில்லியன்டா இருந்தது. 70 it has been declined, reduced. So 40 billions. So at first it has been increased, but 1670 there is a decrease in the foreign direct investment. So 2016 la 44 billion dollars இருந்தது 2017 ல 40 billion dollars குறைஞ்சிருக்கு. So with this we come to the end of the lesson. The 7th chapter over, girls. Start revising the lesson. Read the book pages then and there. Only then you can understand easily. Thank you, girls.